Okay. Video 4, we're looking at electrical units, particularly though looking at the prefixes that are commonly used to describe what's going on, the size of the units. Okay, in the electrotech course, you will need to know your way around these, and they can be a bit of a stumbling block. So that's what this video is about. Okay, so on the page in your booklet that is linked to video 4, it says prefixes and electrical units. At the top is a table. And basically we need to figure out what these 4 things are. Okay, so we got micro, we got milli, we got kilo, and we got mega. Okay, so for instance, there could be micro ohms, milliamps, kilovolts. Okay, so we need to know what these things are. All right, and then we're going to have there are symbols that you need to know about as well. Okay, so first of all, micro. So, micro and milli are your really small ones. Okay, so micro is multiplied by 1 millionth. Okay, so it's a millionth of it. So if you've got a microamp, it is a millionth of an amp. Okay, now its symbol is this weird looking thing. It's like a U with a tail. Okay, it's actually a Greek letter, but that's micro. So you might have microvolts. Okay. Okay, so milli is 1,000th. Okay, so we know this from millimeters, milliliters, so thousandths of a litre, but in electrical stuff it might be milliamps. Now its symbol is a lowercase m, not upper case, but lowercase. So you might have milliamps. So it's 1,000th of an amp. Kilo, timesing it by 1,000. So now these 2 here are your big ones. Okay, so these are big. Okay, these 2 are small. Okay, so kilo, the symbol is lower k. Okay, so you might have kilovolts, kilowatts. Okay, mega, you might have seen the pattern here, that's times by 1,000,000. And its symbol is a capital M, not lowercase, so you don't get those 2 mixed up for obvious reasons. Okay, so we might have megawatts there. Okay, so you've got to know what these mean. You need to commit this to memory. So if they say kilo, you need to know in your head, oh yep, that's times 1,000. If they say micro, you've got to know that that is divided by 1,000,000. In fact, if you see that symbol, you've got to equate that with that. Okay, so this stuff here, that table that's at the top of that page, you've got to have that between your ears. Okay, that's something that you can't really live without. It's just got to be a thing. Okay, just like you should know that there's 100 centimeters in a meter. Okay, so that's those. All right, so then how do we deal with this? All right, so you might have a question like this. How many amps are in 15 milliamps? Okay, so in real life, in actual amps, not milliamps, but amps, how many do we have there? Okay, so we know milli is divided by what? Divided by 1,000. Okay, so 15 milliamps, that's 15 by 10 to, so that little m becomes that. Okay, So to get that into a decimal, we bounce the decimal place 3 times, 0.015 amps. Okay, so that's real amps. That's how many amps you got in 15 milliamps. What about this? Okay, so how many megawatts are in 4.22 by 10 to the 7 watts? Okay. So, what's a megawatt? A mega is a million, which is 10 to the 6, isn't it? Okay, so 4.22 by, check it out, you got 10 to the 1 by 10 to the 6. Can you see that? Because I would add those two to get the 7. So that's just 10. Yeah, I'll just put it there as a power so you can see what's going on. It's that many watts, isn't it? But if I want mega, that's a million. That doozy there, that's mega. Okay, so really, what I've got is 4.22 times 10 megawatts. Oh yeah, easy enough. That's 42.2 megawatts. All right, so you've got to be a bit comfortable with mucking around with the scientific notation there. That's why we did that before. Okay. One more. Let's flick through the booklet. So this is the page in the booklet you're going to be doing. Okay. All right. So let's have a look at this one. This is the slightly harder one. Okay. Here we go. So part 1. How many volts? Boy, it'd be good if I could get this straight. Okay, let's just do that. All right, how many volts are in 560 megavolts? Okay, and in part 2, how many kilovolts is this? Good question. All right, so how many volts are in 560 megavolts? Let's get it into volts. Okay, so I've got 560. Now mega, that's 10 to the 6, isn't it? Okay, that's times 10 to the 6 volts. That's easy, done. Okay, because that's my mega. But I want to know how many kilovolts is this. So what's 1 kilo? 1 kilo is 10 to the 3, isn't it? You times it by 10 to the 3. All right, so let's split this up. So I've got 560. You know what? 10 to the 6 is actually 10 to the 3 times 10 to the 3 volts. Because what I'm going to do now, that there, that's my kilo. Okay, 10 to the power of 3, or 1,000, same thing, okay? So that's 560 by 10 to the 3 kilovolts. Now that's not scientific notation, okay? That's not scientific notation at all. So we need to get that into, we've got to jump this over 2 decimal places by 10 to the 5 kilovolts. There you go. All right, so that is how many, that's how many volts it is. Again, like that's not scientific notation either, but we turn that into mega. Okay. I can see that. Yeah, look at this. We should have changed that, shouldn't we? We should have said That's actually 5.6 by 10 to the 8 volts. If we were being proper with our scientific notation, oh shoot, does this actually, yep, so check it out now. That's exactly how we're going to go. 5.6 by 10 to the 5 times 10 to the 3 volts. That's my kilo. 5.6 by 10 to the 5 kilovolts. Done. Same. Okay. All right. That's how you do that. You need to know how to, the simpler ones, how many straight up amps are in something like that. Okay. So that means you need to be pretty good with remembering these things. So if I've got kilo, it's times 1,000, but as we just said, that's actually 10 to the 3, isn't it? And this one here is 10 to the 6. Yeah. Okay. How many megawatts are there in 4.22 by 10 to the 7? Okay, so I want to get how many megas out of that one, pull a mega out, and I'm left with just 110 behind. Okay, so that 10 to the 6, that is mega. 10 to the 6th is mega. All we're doing is swapping a letter symbol for that. That's all we're doing. Okay? Okay, clear as mud. So now go and have a crack at prefixes and electrical units.